Hello everyone, welcome to my live stream. My name is Denise Hutchins and I'm broadcasting to you from Studio Mikarts. Our charity of the month is Veganuary and you can help them help the animals in a few ways. One, make a donation to our fundraiser here on Twitch. We just have a 10 British pounds goal set up. So if you can, make a donation, but if you can't, just watch my stream and bring your friends because I'll be making my own donation based on my unique viewers count here on Twitch. You can also help by checking out their website, making a donation that way. There is a link in my Twitch description and also in the YouTube description if you're watching this recorded there. It is Wednesday, which means it's time for some more illustration work. Last week we started a new Maginaturalist sketchbook piece. We are on to F in the Magical Creatures Encyclopedia. So we got sketches done and finalized, decided what we're going to do. I say we, but I did it. I am going for something like this. Oh, there we go. Something like this for the final piece, but because my favorite sketchbook that I've been doing these pieces in until this point has been filled up and I have so many other sketchbooks I don't want to spend money on a new one yet, I am going to be using this Bristol paper for the final sketch. A little piece of cardboard came out of the back. Put that in the trash. So that's what I've got out here. I've only been doing these at 4 by 6 inches in size, so I am going to cut this in half once I get it out of here so that I can do one on one half and then the next one I do I'll put on the other side. And for some reason my camera is very dark now, so I'm going to go in and change the settings a bit. It was looking way too bright before I started the stream, and now I have started the stream and it's way too dark, so I will put that brightness setting back where it was. Let's see. What's good? 170. And 170 is even higher than it was, and yet it's not very bright. Even so, well, we'll keep it here for now. Alright, that's better. Okay, so I'm getting this sheet of Bristol paper out. It's really glued in tight here, so I'm trying to loosen that. Whew, did it. Did it. Oh. Okay, good. I squeezed the paper so hard I was afraid I put a little dent in it, but it looks alright. So we're done with this pad of paper for now. I'll just set it over to my side. And this, I'm going to set this up like this. This being, yeah, I'm not using my words, am I? This is my sketchbook. Setting up over here. Try to clip the pages so that it doesn't flop open. Let's see, can I clip the whole thing? Nope, it's too thick. This page is trying to fall. Oh, it's super bright now. What the heck, camera? Okay, hold on. Camera cannot decide what to do. Maybe I gotta turn off automatic exposure because the brightness setting is not on automatic, but the exposure setting is. Alright, we're gonna put everything back to default. See, now it looks fine. I don't understand. Maybe we'll put exposure off of automatic. Okay, what does one higher look? Oh, that's too bright. Lower, too dark. So we'll stay here and let's adjust the brightness now that. How's my hand look? Oh, that looks good. Okay. Dang. Okay, now this should be better. The exposure is turned off of automatic and I adjusted the brightness based on that. So it should stay good, I hope, for the rest of the stream. We'll see. So now I have this set up here so that I can look at my sketch and I think I'll actually turn this little camera to view that. Yay! So you can sort of see what I'm looking at. It's got to be at the side though, because otherwise it'll be where I'm drawing. There. You can see camera right here pointing at my thumbnail sketch. Well, this isn't a thumbnail, is it? A slightly bigger sketch, which I'm going to be using as the basis for my final drawing. But next we need to cut this paper in half. I'm actually going to zoom down a little bit. Oh, this little band is in the way there. Got that? Okay, good. It's having a hard time. There we go. Put my hands in there so that it would focus. Next, cutting this paper in half. Now I'm thinking about it though. I don't know if it'll actually fit in my little paper cutter. I might have to get my big one out. Oh! Oh! It's just barely gonna fit. Would you look at that? Oh, now I have to back this back up. It's just barely. Just barely. Oh! It will fit if I could just get it in over that thing there and this. I don't think it is going to fit. It's not going past the slicer. Oh well. I'll have to get the big one out, which I can't put on the stream because it's that big. But I bet you'll get to hear it. It makes a nice, satisfying slicing noise. It's so big I just have to put it on the floor. I don't have a desk big enough for it. But it was on my wish list for ages, and I'm so glad I have it now. It's 24 by 24 inches, centimeters. Yep. 24 by 24 inches this slicer can cut. For a long time I had so much trouble. It's such a pain trying to cut a straight line on a big piece of paper, but now, boom, just done in 2 seconds. Okay, so this is a 12-inch paper, so we want it 6 inches. Whew. There. Boom. Okay. I'm carefully putting this back. It wasn't cheap, this thing. So putting it carefully away. Squeezing it in this little spot I've got for it. There we go. Oh, while I'm up, I need my 4x6 template. This nice 4x6 template, and I can use that. This is going to be the perfect size for this. My chair went very far away. Okay. Bring this back down. And actually, I'm going to move my lamp over a bit. Oops, turn the light off. That's not what I meant to do. There. There. Guess that's good. Okay. For the template, I'm going to use my blue pen because I don't want this to erase away if I need to erase at some point. I want the outside part to stick around. So now I'm just lining this up as even as I can. It doesn't have to be perfectly centered and straight, but the closer I can get it, the less distraction there is for me. And it's always nice to have the margins available for testing materials or trying some little sketch out or something. There. Okay. Not done with this blue pen though. I'm done with this template now. That. And I do want it uppy downy like this, matching this format here. As you can see, I drew 3 by 3 divisions. So I'm going to add those here as well because we have key things. At the very least, the head is at a key point right here. It's right at the intersection of this line and this line. And then these also help divide where things are fitting, even if they're not sitting at points. So I want those lines on here too. So here we have a little bit more than 15. So I'm just going to center this ruler as best I can and then make a mark at the 5 and the 10 point. That's close enough. And same thing here, 5 and 10. And now connecting these lines, just going to do it this way so I can see better. Oh, no, not quite, not quite. There. Same thing here. Now we're going to do the same thing over here. And would you look at that? It's about 10. So again, I'll center it. And I'll try to do about 3 1/3. So that'll be, let's do it. And then 1, 2, 3, and about what looks like a third. There's not actual third marks on here, but this is like 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. So do the same thing over here. Center it as close as possible. 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. Then connecting the points. This ruler is nice because it has a coating on the back that's designed to keep the ruler in place when you put pressure on it. So I have had it happen with other rulers in the past. You have it, it's all lined up, all perfect. Then you draw and it's like shirk, and the actual drawing motion pushes the ruler or straight edge. So they fix that by putting that coating on the back so it doesn't do that, as long as you're pushing on it. And if you take the pressure off, it will move around easily too. So best of both worlds. Easy to maneuver, but also easy to keep in place when you want it to be. Alright, I think that's it for this pen, my blue pen. So I'm going to be doing the rest of the sketch in this blue colored pencil. And this is because I'm not going to do any erasing after I do the final ink work. I'm just going to plug it into Photoshop and use that to remove all this blue stuff. Let's see, I need this a little closer to me, so I'm going to pull the camera down. There we go. Okay, so using this as a guide, we first have the pile of treasure, which seems to come up from right around this third mark, and then maybe a third of the way up of this square. Keeps rising though, reaches its zenith over this line. And then we have the dragon coming over at about this point, and then the rest of the pile is down here. So the pile of treasure, that's this line here. For the tail, we've got this beautiful curve like this. And then from this point to not quite halfway, so maybe a fourth of the way up, but a little bit less, maybe 2/5 of the way on the bottom line, and then that's the tail, the other side of the tail. Connecting it to make the back. And we do have this leg here. For now, I'm just going to leave a little sort of V-shaped line to indicate it. I want to look at a reference photo to get more details. I wanted to use the Komodo dragon as a reference for that. So we'll just leave it like that for now, not draw any details. Continue on with details we could draw. How about having the treasure coming over? I keep forgetting what he's called. What is he called? Fafnir. I kept wanting to call him Fenrir, and I'm like, no, that's a wolf. Then Freya, no, that's like a human. Okay, and his body curves up and over the treasure pile here. I'm going to erase some so that I can more easily tell what curves I'm trying to keep here. Name my swipey brush, a favorite swipey brush, to swipe these little eraser bits into the trash. Looks like I got them all. Trying to make sure the picture stays on frame for you. There. I think that's good. Next, let's see, I will draw back in the lines that erased a little bit too much there. So it's a nice, gentle curve. And then we have the rest of the body coming up and over here. So it goes out of sight here and curves around. We can't see it because it's on the other side of the treasure. Now I wanted to base this, the head in particular, I think, on the viviparous lizard, which is native to the area where these myths come from, the story of Fafnir. So I have kept the Wikipedia page up all this time since last week on my phone, so I can look at this lovely picture that's on Wikipedia and use this as a reference for the head. I need my dragon's mouth to be open, so it'll be a little bit different, but it's not wide enough open. It's got to be wider open than that to blow some flame out. Big blast of flame. I see. I've made the bottom part of the mouth too high. That's why. Compared to my drawing here, the bottom part of the mouth only reaches up to this line. So we'll try this one again. First swiping the eraser bits. So we need the mouth to be, and it's just a little after halfway point too. So it's something like that. There we go. I've made the mouth too long there. Alright. There we go. Beautiful curve to the nose. I'm going to make the mouth actually a little bit wider, as if the jaw is sort of unhinging as some, but perhaps not this lizard. I don't know if this lizard can do that, but I've heard of other reptiles being able to unhinge their jaw. Specifically in their cases to fit bigger prey inside that they've found to eat, but in this case, I think perhaps he would unhinge his jaw so that he wouldn't burn his own mouth with the flames that are coming out. Let's see, there's an eyebrow ridge, like right here. And I think maybe he'd look a little angry because in the story he's basically cursed. And he's done all kinds of horrible things by now, so he might have an angry look. The story doesn't mention it, but I imagine the curse made him do some of the things he did I think he wouldn't have done without the curse. I'm not quite liking what I did with his pupil. What I wanted to do was have his pupil look kind of crazy. It needs to be a lot smaller for that to happen. Yeah, something like that. Because he's got the dragon sickness or whatever it is. We've got this lizard. The lizards don't really... I think they've got teeth, but it's not like mammal-style teeth. But because he's a dragon, it's always way scarier and cooler to put some teeth in there. So we'll put more style like snake teeth. Yeah. Maybe snake teeth combined with the razor sort of teeth that I see in my dog's mouths when I brush their teeth. So we'll give them a set of fangs on each side, up and down. Should we see the other ones, or will that be too much visual information to cram in here? Let's just keep these ones, even though we might be able to see the fangs on the other side of the head. I think it might be a little bit too much to cram in there. You hear that snoring? It's Aoife again, as usual. Alright, we wouldn't be able to see their fangs anyway. He's blowing fire. He's blowing fire. That's what we're going to be seeing. This is looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with this so far. Okay. Adding the scales now. And around the eye, it's almost got a feathery kind of pattern. The way the scales grow out right here. And of course we can add more adornments to him as well. It could be like some horns. You can have some horns. Or like flailing little tendrils or all kinds of stuff. So we've got some choices to make. Some artistic decisions for this character design. At this point, it stops being these big pieces of scale and starts being those little teeny tiny ones. At least as far as the lizard I'm basing this on is concerned. Or maybe it goes back a little farther than this. The eye is about at the halfway point. Well, this is pretty close to the halfway point. I think it's looking pretty cool though. Looking pretty cool so far. Alrighty. Let me find the Komodo dragon. I didn't leave that up, so I gotta go find it. Komodo dragon. Like Wikipedia. Ooh, I'm yawning. Hopefully they have a picture of the back leg. And there's the front leg. Oh, here's a picture of their mouth. That's cool. That's a cool basis for the teeth. It's a lot like what I did, only I added some like dog teeth. Here's one just chilling though. That's not the position we need, but there's a back leg. That picture. Oh, here's a baby one. It looks like a velociraptor from Jurassic Park. Well, I guess Jurassic Park looks like this because these guys came first. Ooh, there's scales. I don't need this, but this is very cool looking. There are different kinds of teeth. Oh, here's a fighting one. Wow. These two are having a fight. Of course, if you wanted to anthropomorphize it, you could just put some hearts on there and say, oh, dude, oh, it's been so long. Like they're hugging a long-lost friend reunion or something. Getting closer to the kind of picture that I'd like. There's not one. I need a nice clear picture of the back leg. People also ask, what happens if a Komodo dragon bites you? Wow. Just need to see the back leg. I feel like I found a picture so easily last time. Komodo dragon legs. Oh, here we go. There we go. Yay. There's the picture, the back leg. It's close enough. As I thought, there's a little flap of skin from the leg being sort of angled up, and then it, you know, just like our skin goes like this. So does theirs. And then you can see the muscle under. The knee is really big and angular. And 5 claws, just like us. Well, we haven't got claws. We're not so cool, but 5 digits. With big old claws coming out of them. One, two, three. I need to count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. 5 of these. Yeah, it's definitely worth it to look at a reference image, because I would not have put all of these cool little flaps of skin in here on the foot too. I thought there probably was up here toward the body, but there's plenty down at the foot as well. If the foot is too small for how big the head is, what is the ratio of foot to head size here? Well, maybe not that bad. Just trying to see. Their heads are bigger than their feet, these Komodo dragons. Actually, here's a great one. When it's uplifted, the front foot takes up about the same area as the face, but their heads are quite long. This is from the front. Actually, the hand might be smaller, because on the Komodo dragon, the legs are actually quite short. And the body is very long. Still might be a bit small. for how big this head is. And the head's farther away. Make the head a little bit smaller to start. Try to do this balance because there's not very much room to make the foot much bigger. So I'll start by trying to make the head smaller. A smaller head. I suppose I could try to move the leg up as well. Or even just make the leg bigger from the top part. This part of the body is closer to the viewer, so it should be bigger. It's from the logic of perspective. So what if we raise that leg up? And as I always say, it doesn't have to be perfect. This is meant to be a field journal. It's literally called the Maginaturalist Sketchbook. So these drawings aren't going to be absolutely perfect, even within the context of this story. trying to get the scales mapped out, but I can't get this part done in a way that looks right. I'm gonna try it again. So the scales basically lay on an X pattern, but that pattern folds and moves with the body. Maybe if I start from down at the bottom. Still struggle right here. What is it about right here? I can't quite get it. Okay, I think I got it. I think I got that pattern right there. Well, it's close enough anyway. My watch is telling me it's time to get up and move, but there's still 9 minutes until break time. So let's keep plugging away. There's only a few more elements to add. There's plenty more details, but we can add the 5 crows. I actually want to look up some pictures of crows. I'll put European crows so that we're getting animals appropriate to the story origin. Of course, the Komodo dragon is a completely different part of the earth, but there's not actual dragons around there, so... Alright, this is probably good enough. Pretty sure this is from Wikipedia. Yep. Carrion crow. Wikipedia. We'll just use this one. So I add this fellow. Standing here. My idea is just to have these crows be black. No details, they're just the silhouette. So that they are the darkest thing in the scene. I'll have both of these look over here. It's not how it was in my sketch here. I have one looking away, but I imagine the fire breath will be pretty attention grabbing. I don't like how this leg is coming out. I think it's too far back. Something like that is better, I think. And then we've got a couple flying. We'll go to Wikipedia, see if there's any flying pictures. Oh, this one's so cute. This one is just sitting in a tree, looking down. This is so cute. Sweet. Flying picture. Hooray! Wow, they got it from above. I wonder if that's from a... what would you call it? A drone. Some baby ones. Little baby crows. Their beaks are already so big. That's so cute. Alright, we'll use this flying picture. Oh, I'm yawning some more. Tired today. So these crows should definitely be smaller. I've made this one the biggest. It's closest to the viewer. These ones are small. So these ones should be even smaller than what I've drawn in my larger sketch, because these are the same size in the sketch. It doesn't make sense with perspective, so these should be much smaller. Just drawn it as if it's flying too, but I think it would be flying away from the fire. Let's put it on a tilt too. It's more interesting. I just realized I've ended up with the eye being farther back than the original sketch. Which is fine, but that changes this triangle that I was trying to create using the crows. So, let's see. I need to place one over here so that I'm not cutting the eye out. So right now, this one lining up with this one sort of cuts the eye out of the triangle. I want it to be included in the triangle, so we need another crow right about here. That way this crow that I haven't drawn yet will match up with this one. This will match up with these, and then we'll have, well, I guess it's never been a triangle. It's like technically a pentagon, I guess. But if we take them as groups and not as individuals, I need another crow over here. So I'm gonna add one over here. Maybe I can find one with wings up. Carrion crow flying. It's almost time for break time, and I am going to put some eye drops in because my eyes are feeling super dry. I'm trying to find one. I guess I'll put from behind. I want to see it from behind. Wikipedia one is the best one. But I'd like to see... Oh, here's one. It's not from behind, but I can sort of see what the wings do when they're pumping down. So I'll try using my imagination to turn it and draw it from behind. Hello, Chomp. Are you trying to help me get my auto messages starting? They aren't working. as soon as you posted, it worked. It doesn't work if I post a message. Well, thanks for getting them started for me. It totally worked when you posted. Yay! It's perfect timing for going on break, though. I'll come back and draw this second crow. This is the picture this is from the side, but I'll do my best to imagine what that looks like from behind. But it's been an hour, pretty much, of streaming, so let's all take a break. Stand up, stretch, look at something in the distance. If you need to, like me, go put eye drops in, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn on my be right back sign, and I'll be back in 5 minutes. everyone, welcome back. Hope you had a great break. I am all stretched out. My eyes are nice and moisturized now with the eye drops. I got a few face licks from my little dog Chappie as I was bending over to stretch. And I'm ready to draw this other crow, or at least do my best. So we need one here. Something like this. The tail is still all fanned out for balance, I suppose. The wings are really long down. Something like that. Well, that looks pretty good, I think. Okay. That's good enough. Yay. Okay. The last element that's not details is the flame. Let's look up a flamethrower. That's basically what I think culturally we imagine dragons to do. This flamethrower even has a dragon drawn on the side of it. Alright, I guess I gotta say flamethrower in action. Because it's just showing me like shopping results. Rah, it's still the same. Flamethrower flame. Let's see. Flamethrower. Why? Why can't I see it? What do I need to search to get what I'm looking for? Got stage flamethrowers too. Okay, I can't look for that. What is it called? I'm gonna use my Google Gemini. How would you describe the flame from a flamethrower? Intense, reaching, viscous, jet, destructive, projects a stream of fire. It says it's important to note that flamethrowers are dangerous weapons and should only be handled by trained professionals. Yep, I'm definitely not interested in using one myself. I just wanted to have the visual for my dangerous, vicious dragon here. But I liked that description of it as flame. Oh, I already forgot what it was. Flame jet or something? Stream? Those kind of words. I'm hoping that that will get me... Oh, here we go. But I don't... Finally, this is the kind of thing I was looking for. This is the 3D rendering, though. I just would like to see fire from gas jet burner. It's an illustration. I put photo. Photo. I guess this one is the closest to what I'm looking for. So we'll use this one as a reference. Turn my picture this way. So I want the flame to start not in the mouth, but just outside. And it does actually have an almost watery quality at first, and then it grows and get those, not trademark, hallmark licks of flame, little tongues. Aoife did big sigh just now. Big dog Aoife doing big sigh. That's pretty good. Maybe I'll make it a little bigger at the end, though. Really let it fill up the space. We're getting there. I think next let's have a tongue sticking out for the dragon. Search Komodo dragon tongue. See what we got. Open mouth. All of these are with the mouth closed, and I feel like it probably makes a difference. Images. Okay. It kind of sticks down to the bottom and comes out of the bottom jaw. It doesn't like flop around in the mouth, kind of like how our tongue does. Seems to be along a track along the bottom part of the mouth. So I often see in heraldry or something like that, the tongue drawn up like this and then sticking up like that. that sort of shape. But that is not what I'm seeing in the real life images from the Komodo dragon. And I love using real images. So actually what I'm seeing is there's a, just sort of made up this membrane here because I knew it had to be there, but I'll use the Komodo dragon to make it even more realistic. So the more elements that come from life, the more believable this dragon will be. So what I'm actually seeing is a membrane coming down at this angle from the bottom jaw, and then there's some gum, or whatever you'd call it, some gums from the mouth coming down behind it. Something like that. And then you can't even see this tooth. And I guess I'll just make all the teeth razor sharp and not have dog teeth in here. Just have all sharp, scary teeth. So that's one thing we established from the beginning with the description of Fafnir from the encyclopedia, that he should be terrifying. Can't remember what the exact word was. These days it tends to mean more like ugly, but I looked up the word origin and originally it meant terrifying. I think it was, I can't remember the word. Whatever, it doesn't matter. The point is, that's what I'm going for. I'm going for scary. Going for scary. Looks awesome. Okay, let's get the tongue in there. So we have the tongue coming up like this. Maybe we'll have a little bit like this. Yeah, like that. We're reconciling what I expect from the visual language in my head that means dragon and what I'm actually seeing in real life for the Komodo dragon, which is not a dragon, it's a lizard. So, I think that's pretty good for that. Let's look at my reference image of the viviparous lizard again. This lovely picture from Wikipedia. I just wanted to make sure there's not anything else I want to add to the face based on this. I think that's pretty good though. The only other thing is little details for showing the golden horde, which is basically the source of all the trouble in the stories that Fafnir is a part of. And in Tolkien's version, it's basically Loki's fault. Loki was a jerk and put a cursed ring in with the gold after he already killed a Fafnir's brother. It's like doubling down. He's doubling down on it. think I'm going to look up what does a pile of treasure look like so that I can get an idea of what sort of lines I can put in. And just putting these generic bumps. But does that necessarily say treasure? Let's try to see what it actually looks like. Treasure hoard. Let's do photo. Treasure hoard photo. These are very close up. I need it like a big one. Big dragon. Dragon hoard. Dang it, but what I didn't want was my modern Met. Buried treasure troves are real and dot dot dot. Don't know what else it's saying, but let's not go down the rabbit hole. I didn't want other people's drawings of treasure hoards, though, if possible, because I want to base it off what I'm seeing. If I'm basing it off of what I'm seeing of what else someone else saw, then there's a middleman in there, and I'd like to not have that if possible. But putting photo did not help. Real. Real treasure. Hidden treasure. This is from NPR. Oh, I am so tempted to click on this. Hidden treasure chest filled with gold. NPR. Ah. Oh, and this is the same chest. Real world treasure hunting. 6 finds. From cool material. No. No. I just want to see what it actually looks like. Real life lost treasures. I guess the bumpy lines is pretty accurate if it's coins. The story that I read right before I started this piece, though, mentions rings all the time, as if the main form of treasure is rings. So I'll put real treasure rings. Oh, this is individual. Real treasure rings hoard. Maybe I need to look up why Archaeology Wiki, Spectacular Viking Treasure Hoard. I'm actually going to click on this one because this might help me with the rings. Throughout the whole story, I read the book The Legend of Sigurd and Gudrun, written by J.R.R. Tolkien, edited by his son. The treasure constantly mentions rings, not just the cursed ring, but the other rings, and they keep tempting each other to their enemies' houses, saying, you'll be given golden rings. So when this article had a picture, and it says Viking, I feel like it might explain it. But the pictures look... Okay, a gold ring discovered within the hoard. Its oval shape suggesting it... why did that picture go? Suggesting it had been worn. Spectacular Viking treasure hoard found in Scotland. This is from 2014. Oh, this sounds really fun. Okay, I'm just going to read this a little bit. It's very long, but we'll see what it says at the beginning. One of the most important Viking hoards ever found in Scotland has just been announced. The historically significant find was made by Derek McLennan, a committed metal detector enthusiast who has been searching around the area in Dumfries and Galloway, Scotland for the last year. The hoard contains more than 100 artifacts, many of which are unique. They are now in the care of the Treasure Trove Unit and considered to be of international importance. Derek, who's 47, says he was rendered speechless when he made the discovery. He became so emotional when he phoned his partner Sharon to tell her the news that she thought he had been in a car crash. Derek is no stranger to finding treasure. He was part of a group which discovered more than 300 medieval silver coins shortly before Christmas last year, which would have been 2013. He says his latest discovery has enthused archaeologists who believe it has the potential to reveal many new insights into the Vikings and other cultures of the time. Is there just like an inventory? An inventory of the treasure? Or a link to it? This is toward the end of the article, but this sounds interesting. The hoard falls under the Scots law of treasure trove and is currently in the care of the treasure trove unit. The law provides for a reward to be made to the finder, which is judged equivalent to the market value of the items. Wow, that's cool. The Church of Scotland General Trustees, as the landowners, have reached agreement with Derek about an equitable sharing of any proceeds which will eventually be awarded. That's cool. I bet we don't have anything like that in America. Maybe we do, though. I've never looked up treasure hunting as a legitimate thing. Well, at least this is a picture of what I'm talking about. Vikings, so that's Norse. And the rings, maybe I should just search. Oh, how can I say it? Why do Viking treasure always mention gold rings? That's not proper grammar. Viking treasure. Viking gold and oath rings. Why does the story of Sigurd mention golden rings so much? Imagery of gold in Sigurd the Volsung by William Morris. Story of Sigurd. Nobody's talking about this. The Curse of Andvari's Ring. Sigurd and the Rhine Gold. No one's talking about this. Why? Well, whatever. I spent enough time on that. Oh, Capricorn KK, hi! So glad to see you. Sorry I didn't notice your message. I was so into looking up the Viking treasure. Oh, I'm so glad you could make it. I still have a whole half hour left to go, so I'm very happy that you could join me for this. This is a true treasure hunting story. Yeah, the one I was reading about in Scotland, and apparently Scotland has so much treasure, they actually have laws about if you find it. So that's what I was learning about just then. That was a story from 2014. Someone in Scotland was doing metal detecting, found a Viking treasure hoard, and then I learned that there's this whole procedure, this whole legal procedure if you find a treasure hoard. There's a treasure hoard unit in Scotland. All I wanted to do, though, was find out why does the story of Sigurd mention gold rings so much. It talks about treasure a lot, but it's specifically always mentioning gold rings, as if the treasure is primarily gold rings. So I was trying to figure out what was going on with that, if I should draw this treasure trying to make it look like rings. But I couldn't find anything specifically about that, so I'm giving up. So I'm just going to stick to these little bumpy lines to depict the treasure hoard, because that seems good enough for now. Ah, me too. I really like smelling fresh air in different places outdoors. And yes, I feel like it too. So she's not in Scotland, but Fiona Oakes is in the south of England. Pretty sure. And I am one of her patrons, so I watch her videos all the time. And it seems so fresh and green there all the time. Even in the middle of winter, it just seems so lovely right now. So I want to go too. Maybe we go together. We get a vegan cruise around Scotland. Yeah. Go around Scotland, England, Ireland too. We can go in a little figure eight, right? I think that would be fun. I would love to do that. Like, if I could pick anywhere to live for the climate, it would be probably the British Isles. Or maybe Japan, but British Isles seems like it's colder. But I could go Hokkaido, Japan, too, and that's probably about the same. Anyway, I want to live in a really damp environment. I am always so dry. Even my break today, on this stream, I had to go put eye drops in because my eyes were so dry. I want to live in a damp place. So that seems like the perfect place. Perfect place for me to live. But even if I just go there to visit, I feel like that would be really fun. Yeah. You don't like snow? Is that why you put the sad face on there? I spent 2 weeks in Uamizawa, Hokkaido, which I believe is a somewhat east of Sapporo, but it was in the summer. So it was quite warm and humid, which was the best because I didn't have to put lotion on once, even after taking a shower. No lotion necessary because it's so humid. It was the best ever for my super dry self. My dry physical self, I like to imagine that I have a bit of humor in my personality, but... Oh, you don't like shoveling the snow. That makes sense. It's a good workout, though. I am always so sore after having to shovel. Go out there and shovel, even if it's just half an hour. It's a crazy workout. It's so hard to imitate that, like with gym work. The kind of work you have to do with shoveling snow. I feel like it would be so cool to stay in winter at one of the places kind of like Akita or those places in Japan that are super famous for their snow festival. I mean, Sapporo is super famous for the snow festival too. But again, I stayed in summer, so I didn't get to. And I went on a cruise around Japan, and that was in spring during Sakura season. We were like chasing the cherry blossoms the whole way. It wasn't until we got back around that we finally really saw some awesome cherry blossoms in bloom. But winter, I have not been in Japan, and they have such amazing winter stuff to do. Those awesome snow sculptures and ice sculptures, and just the houses look so cozy with the big, like, 2 feet of snow on there. That's humor fun. Yay, I guess it worked. That's so fun. I love imagining that kind of thing. What would I do on that vacation? Going to Scotland would be great. Ireland, Wales. Okay, I think I am done with the sketch. I think I'm ready. Oh my goodness, I think I am ready to start putting down some ink. So with this series, I'm using specific inking materials to stick with my story of the Maginaturalist is traveling the world. So she's packing kind of light, just has one dip pen at her disposal and a pot of ink. So I'm not going to be using my fine liner set or anything like that. Instead, I'm going to get out that same pen that I've been using for all of these drawings, which is in my closet here. And the ink I've been using, which is my favorite, Kuretake Zig Sumi Ink 60. I've gone over before why this is the best ink ever. So I won't do it again today, but probably someday in the future I will go on a big, not a splurge. What is the word? A big, when you love something and you talk about it. Wow. Words are not happening for me today. Let me see. What is it called when you talk about something that you love? It's kind of like a rant, but positive. Asking Google Gemini. Eulogy? No. Positive one. Gushing? Maybe that's it. Can you shake? I don't know if it makes much of a sound. Okay, we'll try. Did you get some goosebumps from that? Did it work? Oh, yay, I'm reading your messages backwards. I'm so glad that you appreciate that. Thank you very much for saying that, because it makes me feel good. That's the kind of thing, it doesn't end up, you can't tell from looking at the final piece necessarily, but that kind of thing matters a lot to me personally. So the artist tools / packing list as shaping a series of illustrations. Thank you for noticing that and commenting on it positively. I appreciate it. Okay. Got my ink. Ah, there's some bubbles coming out of it. I'm worried about them popping and spreading ink everywhere, so I'm going to get my towel. Got this nice shop towel and just pop that on top so it'll get those bubbles there without them. Sometimes when an ink bubble pops, it flies around everywhere. I don't want that to happen. So put this here. Put my ink here. Spiel. Maybe spiel is the word. Spiel, gush. In any case, talking about all of the wonderful attributes of this ink, why it's my favorite, but not today. Because we've got 20 minutes, so I'd like to get as far as I can. Gosh, I like that one. Okay, good. We have settled on gush. I'm going to gush in the future about this ink, but not today. Okay, so for these crows in the very far background, for now I think I'm just going to try using only hatching to depict them. But by the end, I'm going to be attempting to achieve 4 levels of, oh, I can't remember the word. Tone? No, not tone. 4 levels of shade. That's not it either. Anyway, we're going to have the darkest dark and the lightest light, and there's going to be 4 levels of that. So for now, I'm going to see if that works for these 2 that are way in the background, but I might end up filling them in all the way because these crows are meant to be the darkest element in the scene. So like these closer ones, I'm just going to fill them all the way in. Mushy gushy. I don't remember hearing that one. Mushy gushy. It sounds like something you'd say when someone has a crush. You're getting all mushy gushy on me. 90s cartoons. What's your favorite 90s cartoon? It's interesting to me. It feels like the early 90s and the late 90s are completely different eras. For cartoons, at least. To me, early 90s, I think a lot about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And maybe that even started in the 80s. And then maybe the Ghostbusters cartoon. And then X-Men a little bit. The Beetlejuice cartoon. Then we started getting those Nickelodeon ones like the Rugrats. And I feel like that starts being later 90s. Like I loved Rugrats when it was first coming out. And of course all the other ones. Rocko's Modern Life and Aw, Real Monsters. And all of those ones. No, that's exactly what they would say. Oh, okay, maybe I do know. Maybe I'm just not remembering any individual instances, but I have it internalized. Because I was obsessed with cartoons when I was a kid. Ah, Rugrats, X-Men Evolution. I remember that one. My sister, I think, loved that one because it had Nightcrawler in it, and we loved Nightcrawler from the movies. Although Nightcrawler wasn't in the movies until, I think, those live-action movies until the early aughts. Either way, I remember her being into it more than I was. Oh, and you were also Nightcrawler. I didn't even finish reading your message. You're also a Nightcrawler fan. Did you watch the new series that came out on Disney Plus? I quite liked it. I feel like among my friends' opinions were mixed, but that often happens to me. I like things, and everyone else is like, it's crap. I'm like, too bad, I like it. This is my favorite thing this year, or whatever. Oh, Yu Yu Hakusho. One of my close friends loves that show, too. I liked it when it was coming out, but I never watched the whole thing. My favorite character, I remember, was Kuwabara. Still remember that. But I feel like it came out at the time when I started having my first, well, let's say legal jobs. I had little side jobs in junior high school that I shouldn't have had. But legally I started working in high school, and I feel like it was around that time that Inuyasha was coming out, and it was so hard to actually keep up and watch stuff because I was busy trying to earn money. The intro song. Well, you said not yet, what's it called? And I said so many things I don't remember what I asked you. So if you remember, you could remind me and I can actually answer your question. The intro song is still a karaoke hit in Japan. I can't sing it off the top of my head, but I know I'd recognize it. Yu Yu Hakusho song. For sure. Did you know? If you have a Nintendo Switch and you make a profile on it that is based in Japan, if you say your region is Japan, there is a karaoke game you can do. And it has all kinds of anime songs and everything on it. It's called Joy Sound. I think the full name is Karaoke Joy Sound. And it's so exciting because I love singing karaoke, but I like Japanese songs the most. As an otaku, I guess it makes sense. There's some English songs I know too, but... Oh, asking about the new X-Men show. It's called X-Men 97, I think. I'm pretty sure, and it's called that because 1997 is when the series that it continues ended. And I thought it was quite good. I really liked it. I was like, dang. Is Magneto my new favorite guy now? Wolverine was my favorite since that 90s cartoon. I think Wolverine's still my favorite, but Magneto giving him a run for his money. Yeah, it's that Joy Sound too. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, fun. Well, next time I go, I'm definitely going to go to the Unsung Bar. That's cool. I didn't know about that. Otaku and professional singer. Is that intimidating or is it fun? Having someone who's so good with singing that they're making a living off of it. I wouldn't be intimidated. I love singing even when my voice cracks or I don't know the words and I just have to go la 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 la. Or when I'm doing the Japanese karaoke and the lyrics are way too fast and I can't read fast enough and I don't know them by heart. So it's really tough, but it's really good reading practice. The other patrons are so sweet. The other patrons. Remind me what we were talking about. I already forgot. Oh, it was so much fun. Her name is Blue. She does rock and folk songs in Hokkaido. Neat. Cool, dark, modi fashion style. Oh, patrons of the Anisan bars. Oh, neat. That's so fun. I did not know that was a thing. Anisong is definitely... Well, I wouldn't say it's my favorite genre because I wouldn't sing just any old one. I have to actually know it, you know, if that makes sense. Some songs I do like, even though I haven't seen the show, but for the most part I have to actually have seen the anime that they're from. to get that emotional connection. Okay, got the outline for the flames. Eventually I'm going to fill some of these little circles in. But I have to decide how I want to do the background first. We're going to get all the outlines done, and then we'll move on from there. Where should I go next? I think these are dry, so I can put my hand on them. Okay, I'm going to start doing Fafnir now. Oh, you asked just as I said his name. It's Fafnir from Norse legend. It's the next entry in my Maginaturalist sketchbook series, so I'm going through my Encyclopedia of Magical Creatures, A to Z, and right now I'm drawing the first entry for each letter, so we're on F now. And it was perfect because I just finished reading last week when I started this. 2 days before I started this, I had just finished reading J.R.R. Tolkien's The Legend of Sigurd and Gudrun, which I don't know if I'm pronouncing these names correctly, so bear that in mind. But that basically meant that this is almost like fan art, because I had just finished reading about him. So Fafnir he's originally a dwarf, and according to the research presented by Christopher Tolkien, the editor of the book, it can be argued that originally dwarves in folklore, Germanic and Nordic folklore, dwarves and dark elves were one and the same, and it was only over time that they became two different magical entities. So anyway, Fafnir is a dwarf originally, but he's taken by the curse on the gold hoard that was presented to his father by Loki, who rudely killed Fafnir's younger brother, or at least I assume younger. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Anyway, his brother got killed by Loki. The father demanded a repayment for that in gold, and Loki, being a jerk in this story, decided to put a cursed ring in there with the gold. Fafnir got taken by the curse, with his other brother ended up killing their father over the gold. And then Fafnir ran away with the gold and became a dragon to protect it. So that's the story of Fafnir. And what I decided on for my version here is the Maginaturalist has to be seeing this. So she's at a safe distance away. And me and chat decided that Fafnir is showing off his prowess. He's totally aware of the Maginaturalist's presence. But he has the ability to understand the language of all beings. So that's why we have all these birds here. Officially, that's not part of the story. The actual myth says that it's his blood if you consume it, or if sometimes it's his heart. Either way, if you consume some part of him, you can understand animal languages, non-human animal languages. And so I figured, well, if that's a power you can get from him, then he probably has that power. So that's why I have all his buddies, the crows, here. They've already told him that the Maginaturalist is there watching, but they can tell she's just sketching. She's super excited to have spotted him and just wants to record his presence. So he is either showing off to deter her from any ideas of snatching any of this treasure, or maybe he's just showing off period, knowing that he's the subject of her drawing. So that's the story of this. It's kind of long now that I've told it out loud. And so much of that is not going to actually appear in the drawing, but that's okay. I like having that kind of detail in my planning, even if it doesn't show up in the final piece. I think it still somehow makes the piece better. We'll see how far down his body we can get with these little tiny scales that start after his head. So we only have 6 minutes left, so here we go. I've already drawn these little X's to help guide my lines. They're not perfectly spaced or anything. I didn't use a ruler. But it's fine because, again, this is meant to be a Maginaturalist sketchbook. She's drawing in the field. These are so small, I feel like I need to blink more often to see what I'm doing. My eyes start getting blurry looking at it too long. Also, my hand is shaking for some reason. Are you tired, hand? Is that what it is? Why are you shaking? I just want to do a really good job, that's all. Maybe that's what my hand is saying. Don't worry, hand, you're doing great. Oh, it's looking cool. It's looking cool. I looked at it in the camera versus with my naked eye. With the naked eye, I'm seeing the details. If I look at what's being recorded on OBS, I can see the bigger picture, or the overall effect, which is very helpful. Letting me see if I'm getting the effect that I want, or if I should tweak it a little bit. Four minutes. I think we could at least finish his neck at this rate. It's also hard to see because the blue lines against the contrast of the black ink, they start to disappear. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for joining me. It's so great to have someone to chat with. I've been chatting with myself most of the time until this point, so I really appreciate you stopping in and saying hi. And now we can start planning our Scotland vacation. Just kidding, we don't have to do that, but I still think it would be fun. Have a great day at work! Almost there. I'm actually going to draw this line demarcating where the treasure begins to cover him up, or block our view of him. That's more accurate to what's happening. He's not being covered by the treasure, at least not right here, but we can't see him anymore because his body is now behind the pile of treasure. It's looking pretty cool. I wonder if I should put anything on the outside or just leave it like that, like an outline along the outside, you know? Or just leave it. I kind of want to leave it like that. I like this texture, but there are some areas where it's a little bit too open, as if he just somehow has like a hole in his body. So let's not let him have any holes in his body. We'll seal those up along the edges. But I won't draw just a flat, straight outline. Because it's cool to have the texture. Alright, I think that's good enough for today. We've got less than a minute left in the stream, so let me wipe the ink off of my pen before I call it good. Okay, yeah, because I'm just going to leave this stuff. We are going to pick up right from here tomorrow. So there's no point in me putting anything away other than let's cap this ink because we don't want it to dry out. And before we go, let's see, I'll try to move the lamp so there's not a shadow from the camera. Let's do a little final, oh, it's way too bright. Here's the final look at what we did today. If it can focus, there we go. A little overexposed because of how I changed the lamps, but if I move them like this, oh yeah, that's way better. Okay, I'll move them away a little bit. What's happening? Changes. Okay, let's start from the beginning again. Here it is. Yeah, I think I might end up filling these in all the way, but it's pretty cool to have them like this because that gives them a sense of distance. There might be some atmospheric perspective making them not completely black. But we've got these other three really close. And they are fully black. They're going to be the darkest thing in the scene. So there's plenty more work to do tomorrow. I hope that you'll be able to join me. I'll be back at the same time as usual. Coming back to finish this up if possible. That would be awesome because next week is the deadline for getting Patreon rewards done, and this will be my next Patreon reward. So that is it for me today. I hope you'll join me tomorrow, but even if not, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching.